Yo, what's up? Hey, by the way, I saw Jay David on here a few minutes ago. Everyone in Facebook land knows about Jay David, Big Dave. How you feeling, Big Dave? What the hell's going on with you, man? Catch up with me, call me, let me know what's going on. You're in the hospital. Is it gout? What's going on with you? I hope you're doing well, brother. I love you. It's Tony Kurre here from TKR, Tony Kurre Radio. Download the TKR app, TKR, super easy, 3 initials, TKR. You're going to love the classic rock we play, and of course, all of our shows. We have 13 different shows. They run every single day of the week. We have Mission Minded at 10 o'clock in the morning, Adaptive Parish at 12 noon. We have the Damon Johnson Show from Brother Kane, Leonard Skinner, 3 o'clock every day. Win in Rome with Stuart Rome. Great show about Woodstock that runs this week. We did a show yesterday that's fantastic, celebrating the life of Stevie Ray Vaughan on this date. Tomorrow, 1990 is when Stevie Ray Vaughan was killed in his helicopter crash. Of course, I was honored to be the last guy to bring Stevie Ray Vaughan on stage. He played at Oak Mountain Amphitheater with Joe Cocker, and I was not a big Stevie Ray Vaughan fan just because I hadn't really enjoyed a lot of his music because our radio station didn't play any. Of course, after he passed away, we played Pride and Joy and everything from Texas Flood. We got after it, and I really became a huge fan, and I got an autograph of his hanging on my wall. But we celebrate the life of Stevie Ray Vaughan. Win in Rome with Stuart Rome at the Woodhouse Day Spa. Need to Know with Kip Kiefer, one of our fastest growing podcasts. Funny show about him. It's 30 minutes of whatever he wants to talk about. He's also got a brand new show called Want to Bet, just getting ready for college football season. Week 0 starts tomorrow. I cannot wait. College football, woo! I'm smoking stoked, baby. Week 1 next week, he's got a great show where he's going to give you picks every single week. His son works out in Las Vegas, so you get in the inside track. That show is going to be a visual show on, of course, Spotify and our podcast platform. Dark Side of the Pooch with Dr. Rab Stewart. Talked to him this morning. Austin Hanks Blues Almighty with Austin Hanks. Great show. It's a full blues show. His good friend Billy F. Gibbons, of course, from ZZ Top, is one of his best buds. He makes appearances on the show. That airs every single day right around 8 o'clock. And then, of course, Live Wire Wednesday with Southern Precision Staffing, having lunch with them today at 11 o'clock. Busy. Good stuff. Check it out. Wherever you get your podcast, we're on every major indice out there, Audio Boom, iTunes, iHeart, whatever. Just look up a Tony Kurre radio podcast. You can listen to all of our shows on demand. Happy birthday to Macaulay Culkin. Today turns 42. Does that make your ass feel old? 42 years old? Macaulay Culkin, the kid from Home Alone? It's hard to believe. And also, Mother Teresa would have been 112. We need more Mother Teresas on this earth right now. You feeling me? You understand what I'm saying? Here's the problem. We keep talking about needing more Mother Teresas, but we ain't doing nothing. We're waiting for someone else to pick the bag up and start helping. It's got between you and I. We got to get after it. Buddy Little, good morning to you. You and I had to turn into our own Mother Teresa. Oh, I'm busy. I don't have time to make mission. I'm not talking about making mission treatments to Afghanistan or India or wherever. I'm just talking about doing more locally in your community. I'm not going to preach, but just start small, start smiling, be nice to people. How you doing? Can I do anything for you? Next thing you know, it turns into opening a car door or maybe opening a door for an old person at church, whatever it is, and it just turns into something beautiful. It's going to make you feel better. It says in the Bible, it comes back tenfold, man. It's going to happen for you. So be nice. More Mother Teresas we need in this world. Today is National Dog Day. Speaking of Dr. Rab Stewart, the Rossbridge Animal Hospital, one of our great sponsors. Today is National Toilet Paper Day. Thankful for that day. And also today is Women's Equality Today. Equality Day. Women's Equality Day. Let me be that. Couple stories I saw that were really interesting. First of all, whenever I see something about a musician, obviously I'm piqued a little bit and I get a little excited. But a musician and his wife are found dead in the Mojave Desert. And the first thing you're thinking, of course, is something you're going to see on Dateline. The bodies of Larry and Betty Petrie were discovered a couple days ago east of California City. Larry's body was in the front seat of the car. His wife, Betty, was found outside the car's couple leaning up against the rear tire. He was 88. She was like 82. They were married for over 60 years. They ran out of gas in the Mojave Desert. That's how they died. They've been sitting there for like 2 weeks. What a horrible way to go, man. Is this real? Can you, not to make light of the situation, but he evidently did a show somewhere in Bakersfield at the age of 88. He was into the Bakersfield music movement back in the 50s and 60s. She was along with him. They were married for 60 years. Obviously, there was a love affair there. And then he runs out of gas. Can you imagine how that argument went down? The last thing they probably said to each other was, "You dumbass! Why didn't you fill the car up before we left Bakersfield?" And they die in the Mojave Desert. What a horrible way to go. Oh, Andy Morgan, more to tell you. Finally, interesting story. I've been saying this on Tony Kurre Radio. I was with Dr. Josh. And there's one more thing I want to get into too. I don't know where all this money's coming from. I'm just curious. We are pushing things through Congress, and I'm not going to get political here, but billions, trillions, zillions of dollars. You know, billion. We used to say billion with a B because billion was like, holy crap, billion. Now it's zillions with a Z or trillions with a T. Where is all this stinking money going that we're flooding? We did it with COVID. We did it with the PPPs. We're doing it now with all this infrastructural stuff. We're doing it with the inflation tax thing. And I'm like, where in the hell? Now we're paying off all these student loans. I'm like, where in the hell is all this money coming from? I know we're just printing it, but we're going to have to pay for this, right? Is this like just one? You ever do one of those situations where you're going to take all of your bills and put it into one credit card, right? And so say you got like $37,000 in debt and you get like a $50,000 line of credit so you can put everything in there to get a lower interest rate. And then you're thinking to yourself, well, since I've got a little extra on the side, I can go out and do some shopping. I need some new clothes, maybe a new car, blah, 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 because it's only going to account to another $16 or $17 a month over the course of this loan. And so you go out and it's like you hit the lottery. Is that what we're doing here? Does the government just have some giant ass credit card or it still has some room on it? Well, since we have it, let's go out and do it. I mean, where is all the money coming from? It's insane. So I saw the person who won the 1.34 billion, that's with a B, billion-dollar mega lottery in Illinois a month ago has yet to claim the prize. $1.34 billion. Now, in the state of Illinois, if you win anything over $250,000, you can remain anonymous. I'm not sure how that works because you can't keep secrets. If I'm winning $1 billion, I'm telling everybody. I know it's probably the death of me, but I'm telling everybody, and everyone's probably coming out of the woodwork to borrow money, and I probably give it to them. Anyway, so they haven't claimed it. So here's the thing. You have a year to claim the Mega Millions prize. So you got some time. Lottery officials are saying that it's normal for someone to win that much money to wait, get out of their brains, settle down a little bit, realize what's happening, start setting up your finances, don't tell anybody, and put some stuff in a trust. The best thing to do is put it in a trust where you can't touch it for a little bit. That way you can tell your friends, sorry, man, I have no access to my money. Sorry, I can't help you out. Because they're going to be coming out. You're going to have cousins, second cousins, ex-wives you didn't even know you had coming out if you won $1.34 billion. But the amazing thing about it is if they want to claim the lump sum, which is $780 million, they have to do it within 60 days. Or they get paid the $1.34 billion paid over 29 years, which comes out to about $47 million a year. If I was young, I think I'd take the annuity. And you're like, you're crazy. Well, I'm 56. I'm going to take the whole amount, right? But if you're in your 20s or 30s, knowing you got 50 mil coming in every year for 29 years, you can't screw it up. Mike Dunn, good morning. You can't screw it up. I mean, if you just rip through your cash and you're buying Lamborghinis and you're getting hookers and you got stripper poles and you're out in Vegas, you're just getting after it. Next year, you got another 46 mil coming in. You can start all over again. But once you go through that $700 million, I mean, it's gone. Now you're like, Tony, how in the hell can you go through $700 million? Well, let me tell you. Right off the bat, out of the $780 million, 24% goes straight to the government. And then you owe another 13% at the end of the tax year. Because you're in a tax bracket of $500,000 or more, your tax bracket is 37%. 37%. Now, it's money you didn't have. I get it. If it's 37% of your paycheck, it would suck. But 37% of lottery money is taxed, which leaves you $470 million. Now, again, $470 million is a shit ton of money. I get that, right? But we've gone from $1.34 billion that you've won to now getting $470 million. Just think about that for a minute. Think about that. It's like $800 million that are just gone because you took a lump sum and because you're getting taxed. Then, if you live in New York, and this person didn't, I'm not sure what the state taxes are in Illinois. If you live in New York, you got to pay a lottery tax, which is 8.82%. So you're walking away, you win $1.34 billion. You're walking away with $389 million. I mean, I don't know about you and me. I mean, I used to have my nights down at Jitterbugs, J.L. Houston's. I used to go down to Clyde Houston's, and I mean, I could rip through some serious, like $300-400. If I knew I had that kind of cash, I'm not saying I'd do that. I'd buy all those bars and keep them open 24 hours a day. But when you're talking about $389 million out of an initial, you're basically almost being taxed $1 billion on a $1.34 billion. Something's wrong. That's crazy, isn't it? Isn't that nuts? That's why we do it. Finally, yesterday, Dr. Josh comes in on Thursdays. We were on Fox 6 yesterday, and normally we're pretty amicable. We're on with Mike Dubberly and Janice Rogers. They're great. Fox 6 is super cool. Fox 6 is the only TV station that is cool enough to put Tony Kurre Radio on it. They know we're good. We bring great content. They know we're super fun. I've been friends with those guys for 30 years. No other TV station's got the balls to bring on Tony Kurre and Josh Claypool every Thursday. I just want to say that. So we're on every Thursday around 9:30. Sometimes we're on other times if someone dies or whatever. I'm like their expert on people dying. And so we come on, we're talking about quiet quitting. Quiet quitting. This is my get off my lawn moment, also known as quiet firing. So quiet quitting is when you got a job, you're asked to do a particular task or skill, and you do it. You get there on time, you leave on time, you do just what's asked of you, and you're done. And you don't do anything extra. I don't have a problem with that, okay? But you're not going to do anything more, and if you do any more work, regardless of whether it's going to get you ahead, whether it's going to get you in the boss's seat, you're going to move up the corporate ladder, whether it's going to move you into a task or a skill or a job that you've wanted your entire life, you ain't doing it because you want to get paid extra to do the extra work. You're not first in, last out guy. That's not you, okay? Then they have quiet firing, which is a boss who wants to fire your ass for not doing your job or not doing more than he's asking you to, but he can't fire you because the labor. I went to McDonald's yesterday, and there was one person working at McDonald's. One person working at McDonald's during lunch. I felt sorry for the woman. I almost put a hat on and went back there and helped her flip burgers. I was like, I'm so sorry. I mean, I left because I didn't want to add to her pressure. I thought she was going to lose it. Jill Calhoun, good morning to you. I thought she was going to lose it big time. And I know, and Dr. Josh and I, if you saw the clip, man, we got into it. We went back and forth. My dad delivered newspapers for 37 years to provide for his family. My dad in the middle of the night would go like this. He'd be sleeping and he'd have dreams about doing this. The flipping newspapers out both sides of the window. It could be 5 below zero, snowing like hell, and he had to run and deliver newspapers to 1,400 customers every single night. He did it for 37 years, never missed a day. Had the flu, had gout, he had all kinds of issues, never missed a day of work. And took pride in what he did. Did my dad enjoy coming home with black hands underneath his fingernails, working from midnight to 8 o'clock in the morning, missing his kids going to school, missing church? Did my dad enjoy that? Hell no. But he took pride in what he was doing. He loved the fact that he had a job that provided enough for his family, and he realized, I have this thing, and I'm going to make the most of it. He got up every night and took a shower before he went to work. He's sitting in a truck in a Econoline 3500 for 8 hours a night. How many of us would take a shower to go deliver newspapers all night? He had a regimented routine where he'd stop and have coffee, and he would talk to a good friend of his about 2:30 in the morning. He did everything right, and I would go with him on nights where it was snowing. He'd wake me up and say, you're not going to have school tomorrow. I need some extra weight in the back of the truck. And he would go to the Ford plant, which was down in Sharonville, Ohio. And he would open his door, And rather than putting newspapers in newspaper racks, for you people that don't know, Al Cooper, good morning to you. For people who don't know, they used to have newspaper racks. You put the newspapers in the racks, you put the change in, you open it up, and of course it was easy to steal newspapers too, and that would piss my dad off. But people loved my dad, so they didn't do that. So rather than put newspapers in the racks, he would deliver them out of the back of the truck. So he'd open the door, and as the guys are going in for shift change at 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning, my dad would sell them newspapers. And my dad enjoyed that because he was in the service industry. And those guys that were working at the Ford plant and third shift loved it because they had some communication with someone that they knew was going to be there every single day. And my dad's name was Richard. They called him Dick. And I remember sitting in the back of the truck, and I'm just sitting there looking at him, and he's like, "How you doing, Tommy? Hey, good to see you, man. 35 cents, please, for your newspaper. Hey, tell the wife and kids," I said, "Hey, I hope you have a great day. How's your shift going? Hey, Dick, this is a new guy. Just started third shift tonight. I want you to meet, Bill. Come over here, Bill." And my dad would give him a free newspaper. "Here's a free newspaper, man. I'm coming back tomorrow night, 3 o'clock in the morning. Help me out." He took pride and respected the fact that he had a job that provided for his family, and he worked his ass off and didn't miss a day in 37 years. We're in a situation now in this country where there's more jobs than we need. The unemployment rate should be zero. I mean, there's jobs all over the place. And because of that, we got the mass resignation. We got people working one day at a job, quitting, and then going across the street and working at a competitor, and they're quitting there and they're going somewhere else because they know that if they get fired, they can find another job. I'm telling you something, man. Life is cyclical. It's full circle. It ain't going to last forever. There's going to become a time, I don't know when it's going to be, and I hope it's not soon, don't get me wrong, but there's going to come a time where jobs are going to be hard to get again. And if you're one of these knuckleheads that comes into a workplace, and again, it depends on the job you're doing. If this is something you're just getting out of college and you really want to get ahead, obviously if you're like a lawyer, a doctor, it doesn't matter, whatever it is. You could be a fry cook at McDonald's. If you want to get ahead, you want to be the owner of that McDonald's, or you want to be the manager of McDonald's, you got to put the extra work in. If you're not, you're never going to be seen. I'll use this as an example, and I said this yesterday. You're working, I'm just using Amazon for an example because it's a factory. You're working at the Amazon distribution center, right? You're getting to work right on time. You're always kind of in a rush. Maybe you're not particularly friendly because, you just had to drop the kids off. You got life's problems. I get that, right? And you're leaving right at 5 o'clock or you're leaving right when you want. And that's fine. That's your job. That's cool. But if the dude next to you turns out to be the next flipping Jeff Bezos, and he decides he's got this new idea on how to distribute boxes and packages and gifts across the world, and he wants to start a new business, is that the kind of guy you want next to you when you're not willing to go the extra yard to get ahead? Because that may be the guy that can grip you out of that $23 an hour job and give you a job that pays you $300,000 in 2 years. You never know who's watching. You never know who's listening. You never do the right thing. Work hard. Working hard. It's not about whether you like your job or not. It's about, first of all, being grateful, being appreciative, gratitude, not attitude, and appreciating the fact that you have a job and someone's given you this opportunity, because that opportunity could open up so much more for you. I understand it sucks, and sometimes people work, and I think 70% of the people say they work jobs they absolutely hate, and I hate that. And I've been so blessed that I love what I do. I mean, every single day it's like a hobby. I love it. The business part of it kind of sucks. But the radio part I absolutely love, and I love Tony Kurre Radio, and I love her podcast. I love doing our shows. It's just fantastic. I get to talk to people and bounce ideas off things and communicate with people. I love it. So I've been super blessed. And I always tell my kids, man, it's not about the money, man. If you got a job that pays you $60,000, $70,000, $80,000, which is nothing to sneeze at, for the rest of your life, but you really enjoy it, you're going to be so much more happier than you are making $500,000 and you're stressed out, you're drinking too much, your wife is leaving you, your kids hate you because you're traveling too much. I'm just telling you. But anyway, this whole quiet quitting thing pisses me off because I think it's this younger generation. Again, this is my get off my lawn moment. I think a lot of these kids think that there's always just going to be jobs aplenty, and they just get to pick and choose, and they're just going to keep screwing people over until they finally find the one they like, and then maybe you're going to have a boss that doesn't like you, and then you're going to have to go back with your tail between your legs and go ask for those jobs back. Michael Martis, is that right? Michael, welcome in. Brand new to the show, Michael Martis. Anyway, just my thought. I have never seen anyone fail that isn't willing to put a little extra work in and work hard. My dad taught me that. My mom taught me that. I'm teaching that to my kids. Hard work never killed anybody. And more times than not, whenever you really put a little extra oomph in and you are the first one in, the last one out, someone will recognize that. You may have a boss that doesn't care. Maybe he doesn't like the fact that you're trying to get ahead because he's thinking you're going to take his job. Whatever. Someone will find you. And the man upstairs is watching 24 hours a day. He will reward you. He will take care of you. He knows how hard you work. All your work and all your labor, the fruits of your labors will be ripe one day, and that good job, that job you really want will come. But if you're not doing it, you're not setting your table right, man. You're not helping yourself. All right, enough preaching. I hope you have a great day. Coosa Valley Auto Sale, one of our brand new sponsors. I know Al was just on a few minutes ago. Check out CoosaValleyAutoSale.com. CoosaValleyAutoSale.com, brand new car dealership. I kind of get to handpick who I want to be on the radio station. I went up and met with Al Cooper, and I love what he does up there. I think they got up to 40 or 50 different cars in the lot. It's a used car lot. Fantastic in Silicaga. Check them out. Tell them Tony Kurre sent you. CoosaValleyAutoSale.com. And don't forget, coming up this Saturday, August 27th, it's Aeon. Is that right? A-O-N? Aeon? Aeon's debut EP is going to be unveiled at Workplay. Check out Workplay and Workplay.com. We also have some Halloween stuff we're going to be doing down there coming up a little later on in October, so it's going to be great. Download the TKR app. Listen to our podcast. We have shows all day long, new shows starting, including Want to Bet. It's going to be going up tomorrow, and I hope you have a super wonderful weekend. College football starts tomorrow in earnest. I think there's like 9 or 10 games, and I'll also be on the Jay Barker Radio Network. I had dinner last night with Jay at La Paz, had a great time. Thank you for buying me dinner, Jay. That was very nice. I got the next date. But I'll be on the Jay Barker Radio Network between noon and 2 a little bit later on this afternoon. I love you. Have a great weekend. See you.